Boys, where have you been?
We're just running errands.
That's it?
Look, we're really sorry, Splinter. Some of the guys wanted to get pizza, and I tried to talk them out of it.
You ratted us out.
Hey, don't use that word that way.
I mean, it's 2023.
Sorry, Dad.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
Today's podcast we're covering the new TMNT movie, Mutant Mayhem.
Produced by Seth Rogen, this new version of the Turtle Brothers embraces the teenager energy by having them be voiced by real teenagers. And as for the story, the turtles long to live above ground and interact with humans, but hide because humans see mutants as monsters. And to prove that they're heroes, they work together to stop Superfly. Yes, that's the real villain name.
Yes.
A mutant gang leader from turning the world into mutations.
And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification when on future podcasts and World of Pause videos.
Absolutely. And we've been wanting to see this, and we were blessed by our cousin in California with the opportunity to be able to see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. And, of course, you know how much we like the Turtles, and Rascal loves the Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love the Turtles too, but
yes,
she loves them more.
And we have heard about this movie for over a year now, especially when they announced it. And when they first announced that Seth Rogen would be in charge of it, a lot of people had some hesitations because the last two projects he did that were adult oriented in animation were not only panned, but they were not really well written and not for a lot of broader audiences. So when he decided to do the Turtles, people weren't sure how that was gonna go. But after seeing promotional footage and trailers and things and announcing there was gonna be teenagers for the first time voicing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, people actually wanted to give it a chance.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And then came, like, the biggest part of it was the hype, because the closer it got to August 2nd, there was promotion heavier than Barbie. Mm-hmm. They had every single possible merchandise, advertisement, globally, commercially, crossover, stuff you could buy or sell or eat or something. They've had literally Turtles everything. It was almost like anime.
Absolutely.
So they wanted to make absolutely sure that every generation of Turtles fans would want to see it. They even went and put all the series, the prior series of the Turtles on complete box sets to get people excited.
Yes, and Rascal just ordered her 2003 version.
Yes.
Now I have to get the 97 version.
Yes.
I'm sorry, 87.
Yeah.
So this computer animated superhero film, and that's what it's categorized as,
Right.
was directed by Jeff Rowe, and the screenplay is written by Seth Rogen along with four other people: Evan Goldberg, Jeff Rowe, Dan Hernandez, and Benji Summit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's interesting how whenever they talk about the movie itself, the promotion and the people only mention Seth Rogen when there are actually four people involved in this story,
Right.
and this movie. And of course, it's based on characters by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman.
Mm-hmm. They
We
give
owe
them
a
shout
great-
outs.
Yes, we owe them a great debt for this awesome franchise that they have still managed to allow to remain relevant all these decades later.
Right.
Kind of like Scooby-Doo.
Right.
And it's so many generations have grown up with their version of the Turtles. And this is just another version for another generation to grow up with. And it's an awesome thing that they're still continuing.
Right.
Now the movie is produced by Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and James Weaver. And as anyone who's seen it knows, there's a giant guest star casting
Right.
of people as appearing as voice actors for this movie.
Right. And as you said, the four main turtles, they've now been aged down to 13 to really show that they are real teenagers. And that was actually a huge part of the promotion, that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be voiced by teens, and they show they are actually teens. And now the Turtles are 13 instead of 18 instead of 15. So now this is going to be the new standard for a while, I guess, until the next version takes off. And as for the adults, one of the biggest ones they had was Jackie Chan as Splinter, which we don't know why they didn't do that before now.
Right? I was like, this is perfect. Why has no one thought of that before now?
Right. And you also had Paul Rudd do a voice. Seth Rogen actually produced and did a voice, I think, of
Giancarlo
Bebop.
Esposito.
Yes.
And John Cena,
Yes.
Maya Rudolph.
Right, Ice Cube.
Yes, that's the biggest one that we see on the commercials. And the 4 teens that are voicing the Turtles are Micah Abbey, Shimon Brown Jr., Nicholas Cantu, and Brady Noon.
Yeah.
And if you don't know their names now, you will.
Right.
And the one who voices April in this version is Ayo Edebiri.
Right.
So clearly they have a bright future ahead of them. I remember when we first watched the teaser, they showed them together. And I remember saying to you, they have a good rapport. They sound really good together. They sound really genuine. They seem to really get along. I think this might work.
Right.
And when you watch the movie, it absolutely works. They're not veterans or professionals who've been in VA for decades, but somehow they pick these 4 teens and they mesh absolutely well together.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
picked good ones.
The performance is so genuine that while you're watching the movie, you kind of don't even realize you've gotten hooked into listening to them.
Right.
Kind of like with the person who did Lincoln Loud the
Right.
first season. I told you, I could sit and listen to this kid all day.
Right.
And the same thing has happened with these 4. They sound really good, really genuine, really organic.
Right.
And I could sit and listen to them all day.
Right. And it's a pretty nearly flawless movie as a whole. Animation, they had it really unique, inspired by, of course, Spider-Verse, and wanted to give it its own style. It was a unique idea to have this type of story and this type of voice cast and things. And I guess, like, really the only 2 flaws I really saw with the movie, and they're really minor, was a statement that this movie would be the first time the Turtles felt like teenagers and real teenagers. And I get that they weren't voiced by teens until now, that part's true, but for me, usually every version we see of the Turtles, they act like they're radical teens. So
Sure.
I kind of didn't agree with that, but it was minor.
And they also sounded like teens with the
Yeah.
actors they got. I mean, every once in a while you got one who sounded
Too
like
old.
he was an MHA turtle.
Right.
But yeah, generally they
Right.
just sound like teens.
And then the second would be, I think, they really had a big message in them, which is a positive one. There were just at times when the dialogue kind of had to push it more, and I don't think it was necessary. They could just let the story speak for itself. And the mutants kind of did like the X-Men mutants, where they stand in for people who've been prejudiced against, and that's what they decided to have for the backdrop for mutants in this movie. And I think they really didn't have to say anything, because they use a lot of key words that you hear in other shows and movies, and part of it takes you out for a second or two. It's like you've heard this before, and I don't think it was necessary to speak it. I think it should have done a show don't tell, and just have them see who they represent, what they represent, and let the story speak for itself, rather than constantly have the characters tell you, oh, they want to be accepted and loved and so on. It would have done even better.
And I think the movie did show that. You're right. It wasn't even necessary to state it, because the movie transcripted that perfectly.
Right.
So you're right. It was so well done that it fit right in there.
Right.
Now, another thing I wanted to bring up is there was a lot of controversy based on the designs of the Turtles as well as
April. Yeah.
and Shredder too. I was thinking, yeah, all of them. And I'm not sure why he's a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they didn't think.
He's always been, alright, did I say Shredder?
Yeah, I think you mean Splinter?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's always been a big rat.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the problem was. He's being drawn differently depending on the series, but
Right, and he's always been Japanese, so having an Asian voice actor do the voice really wasn't a big deal.
oh
It was
well,
ju-
love Jackie Chan.
Right,
yeah.
it's like, okay, it took you this long to have him be the voice, so it really shouldn't have been an issue at all. It's been done.
And the same with Amy. Amy has been, I'm sorry,
April?
My mind is all over the place. Forgive me, guys. April has been drawn and shown differently, including in the original comics. And there's been debate on how she looked in there as well. So this is just another version that has been drawn for this particular turtle group.
Right.
And I'm sure if they ever reboot this again, April will look different again. The
Right.
Turtles will look different again. And so will Splinter.
Right.
That's just how it's done.
Right.
So after seeing the movie, we really didn't see what all the noise and complaining was about because everything worked together.
Yeah, and we already know it's going to be a sequel and a spin-off series. The series, I'm a little not sure because they want them to split up and learn to work on their own without being a team, and it's sort of weird because they've always had the teamwork thing like Teen Titans, so I don't know how they're going to do that, but maybe they'll surprise and actually have something unique in mind. And now that being said, there are also lots of references in here, not just to past Turtle series, but just to everything in the real world. And it don't even matter if it's Paramount. They reference Disney, Paramount, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, anime, and things. And you could tell the only two anime I think Seth Rogen liked or cared about was Attack on Titan. And that was it. Everybody was Attack on Titan. Oh, I read Attack on Titan. It's like, okay, I guess that's all he reads. But there was a ton of references in here. And it was like, kind of caught you off guard. Like, I guess they're supposed to live in this universe.
The cinematography for this particular movie was done by Kent Secchi. The look is very different, and you had mentioned that Seth Rogen wanted to have it look as if teenagers drew the actual characters and themselves.
Right. And that's not actually a bad choice. And it's just a lot of movies and shows now are kind of having these not really clear designs, like they look kind of off, and I guess people really like it, so they're continuing the trend. We've had a whole string of characters that look all with one design because that's been the it type of animation. So here, you know, everyone's doing the Spider-Verse animation where it's a fusion of styles and done in 3D and it looks fluid, so I guess this just adds to it. And it takes you maybe a minute or two to get used to it because the concept art, when they showed it, looked like they were on something, so I could see why people were kind of like, what happened, but it was fine when they got to the movie.
To me, it looks like really speeded up claymation. That's all I thought of when I saw it as claymation, that's really moving fast. And I can say that it looks like they've made something different that stands out from everything else, which is always good.
Right.
So this movie runs 100 minutes, and it took a budget of $70 million to produce, and as of the box office weekend opening, it made $94.2 million. We know by now it's made a heck of a lot more.
Right.
And it really has earned every penny. Went into here watching the movie, not sure what to think or what to expect, but as always, we're open to watch it, especially if it's a franchise or a show that we love or a voice actor that we love or characters that we love. So we watched the movie and we're really pleased that it was enjoyable, action-packed, full of adventure.
It didn't tear down people who loved old versions.
Absolutely. And again, the 4 teens who are voicing the Turtles absolutely are meant to work together. They sound fantastic. April works well as well, but she's not in the movie until almost halfway through. Does she come in? But again, this is definitely going to be a version that sticks around for a while, and I hope they keep giving the type of quality they're giving now. Please don't go the way of Transformers with the knights, the fallen knights. Oh, please don't do that to us. Keep it high quality, keep giving people what they're wanting and asking for, and as long as Seth Rogen and the other guys do that, then there's going to be more movies to come. Definitely there'll be more theatrical movies, I should say. And so if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, movie videos, your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation. Absolutely. And if you've seen Mutant Mayhem at the theaters or otherwise, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't, it's going to be out next month. Is that right? I think so, on DVD and on streaming. And if you haven't and you're not going to the theaters, we can tell you, get excited because it's really a great movie to watch. They pulled out all the stops, took risk in doing something different, and it really absolutely paid off. And lots of Rascal family members have gone to see it. Most recently, Sean, or Shinigami Sean, and He just absolutely says it's fantastic.
Right.
So go to his Twitter channel, Sean Whalen, and check out his comment as well as a picture of his movie ticket
Right.
and having gone to see it.
Right. So, thank you so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man. Who the hell are you? What you wanna do? My man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. With her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams, plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket.